diminish, canceling, get intimidated, lose their job, famous personalities, they can lose job of not working, $1 trillion trend distractors going off the grid, dramatic to this public shaming, made for distraction, reduced government to anti-social, eradicated processes of shift in boycotting person from Korea, backlash from the political party by another party. So around the elections, after the election, mob mentality, international brands pushing a personal experiences with. Hello everyone, welcome back to another topic discussions. And today's topic is why the cancel culture is not working. So I'm sure most of us who spend a little bit of time over the internet are aware what a cancel culture is. It has been ruling our social media feeds in the last couple of years specifically, but it has been existing in the world for quite some time, for time unknown. This format of canceling people or organizations or institutions have been existing in the world for quite some time. But very recently, this topic has been topic of discussion over various media platforms. So let's look at what is cancel culture. So today I'm going to discuss what is a cancel culture, certain examples of cancel culture, why it is not working nowadays, what is boycotting, public shaming, mob mentality, and personal experiences related to cancel culture. Okay, so when I search to understand or research more on this topic, okay, before I get into the topic, who am I to discuss on this kind of topic is a very important question that I need to answer. So I basically have a little bit of experience handling different corporate jobs, and I've also worked for agencies as consultant, as a business consultant and HR related professional. So I do have a little bit of experience on these kind of topics, working professional experiences and personal experiences related to these kind of topics. I also hold a master's degree in human resources management along with a bachelor's degree in computer science and other subjects. So I do have an academic backup and a professional and personal experience related to these subjects. So it's just not just internet knowledge or obtained from book reading. I'm not trying to, diminish the knowledge acquired from those medias. But along with that, I do have an academic qualifications and professional experiences of tackling these kind of subjects. And that is one of the reasons I chose to address this specific topic here today. Okay, so let's get into the topic. So when I was trying to research for this specific video module, what I came across with regard to cancel culture over the internet is this kind of definitions. So it is basically what they're trying to say is cancel culture refers to canceling business organizations, entities, individuals, business professionals, corporates, even entertainers, publicists, influencers, anybody who is basically a public figure or even otherwise can get cancelled and can get intimidated in a public platform, and they may lose their job, they may lose their financial income, their influence in the public. If they're famous personalities, they can lose job opportunities, and it has got a lot of implications on their personal and professional lives. So we have been seeing this kind of phenomena happening aggressively over the social media in the last couple of years, but recently we have also noticed that this kind of cancellation culture is not working as how it used to work in the past. So today we are going to discuss why this kind of cancel culture is not working as much as how it used to work. Primarily because people have gotten used to the social media in the last couple of years. There has been a surge of people using social media. I understand the social media platform is coming to, as far as what I understand, is over $1 trillion business is going or is happening around the social media platforms, including YouTube. So it is a huge platform. It has developed itself into a huge platform in the last couple of years, and people have started to understand the trends, the trend setters, the trend distractors. So people have primarily started to understand that there is a pattern happening wherein people are going off the radar or going off the grid, maybe of reasons which are not which are not that problematic to the society. Okay, I'm not talking about people who are actually committing certain kind of problematic things against the society or against the individuals. That has to be dealt by the law. Whatever the law says, this I always stand by. Whatever the law stipulates, I stand by that, so there is no contradictions. I'm talking about the other type of cancellations, people who are not charged by the law. Okay, I'm not going to touch the people who are charged by the law. That is for the law to take care of. It's not to be it's not in the hands of the public. We are not going to encourage a mob mentality or public shaming here. At least that is not what the social media is made for. I'm talking about the people who are outside that particular area. Okay, so yeah, so people have started recognizing the patterns, and people have grown to understand and be resourceful of the social media, rather than using it for distraction of other people's businesses, or other people's characters, or other people's financial sources or incomes, or even reputation. Correct? So that tendency has reduced in the last couple of years, and even the governments have been taking considerable steps and actions to keep the antisocial elements out of the social media structures. Like, I understand that many countries have come up with the options of registering, having e-identification documents for their citizens, and trying to link that to their all forms of electronic communications or electronic accounts. Okay, so they can hold the citizens accountable for their activities online. So these are all the steps being taken even by the government to ensure that the people does not bring in the antisocial activities which is happening outside the social media into the social media platform. So even from the part of the government institutions, there has been an active role in controlling antisocial activities in the social media platforms. So these are one or two of the reasons as to why the cancel culture is not rampant, or it's not having the influence on the people, on the public, or the social media users as how much it used to happen, or as much as how much of influence it used to have. That kind of influence is not happening right now. Okay, so I discussed 2 points. One is, people have become more smarter in using social media as compared to 5 years ago. Second, government initiatives to antisocial elements are checked or controlled, or their actions are controlled in the large scale social media arena or the platform. Now the third point is, it doesn't mean that these antisocial elements have been completely eradicated from the social media. Not at all. It doesn't mean that. It just means that these people have been sidelined into other factors, like the factors of the dark web or other sources of entertainment, whatever they are seeking out to achieve from these kind of platforms. Okay, so it does not mean that these people have been completely eradicated out of the internet or the social media platforms, but certain platforms has arisen consistently, or which are catering to these kind of people and which are not largely accessed by the public. So this is the third reason why the cancel culture is unable to cancel as much as how much it used to. These are the three different points that I could think of while researching. A shift in people's thinking has happened in the last couple of years. So now coming to the point of examples of cancel culture. So this cancellation has been happening rampantly all over the world, and it's not a phenomena that has happened or sprouted just after the social media or the boom of social media. No, this has been existing in the world, in different economies, in different countries all over the world for centuries. There has been, even public shaming is considered to be a form of cancel culture. Boycotting a certain person or a certain individual or a certain celebrity or a certain business is considered to be a feature of cancel culture. So these kind of tendencies have been occurring in world over for centuries. Recently, I came across an article where a Korean person, a person from Korea, had been extensively talking about the cancel culture that is rampant in their societies. There, it is such an extent that the public reputation is is of so much importance for the celebrities that if there is a backlash from their communities or the societies or the public, the celebrities are unable to tackle the cancellation or the extent of cancellation, and they commit, they go and unalive themselves. So to that kind of extent, the celebrities are scared of the public backlash in countries like that. Their own people have been coming forward and discussing these kind of phenomenon happening in their country, that the public image or the reputation is so influential in their country, or so important and so significant in their country, that even people go to the extent of making themselves unalive just because of certain amount of public backlash happening from the public. So these are all certain examples, and as I said, it's not only in that country, in every other country these kind of things rampantly happen. And one of the reasons why the political parties change, again, this kind of campaigning has been happening against a political party by another party. So around the elections, after the elections, before the elections, these kind of campaigns happen. Even if it in the Western countries, Eastern countries, most of the countries, we have seen this rampantly happening. So now coming to the topic of public shaming, mob mentality and boycotting. There have been so many international brands that have been facing boycotting in the last couple of years. We have seen this due to various reasons. Another advantage of every situation has its advantage and disadvantage. So why the systems or why the legal systems does not take active actions against these kind of behaviors is a very good question that every one of us must ask, right? Why there is no strict control by the governments or the legal systems against these kind of public shaming or boycotting? Why there is no strict systems? That is because in these kind of scenarios, the public is making the influential person responsible for their actions and commitment to the society. An influential person can be a person of power or of money in terms of a normal public person. So when they're accountable to the public, they always think of their actions, what they're going to do. They always think about their credibility towards their job and towards the public. Otherwise, they think before they take every action or every reaction they do or they take in their life, they make themselves accountable for their actions. Otherwise, they fear the backlash or the cancellation by the public. So this is why the legal systems or the countries do not control the cancel culture as much as how much it can control. Actually, the government and the legal systems can put in or bring in a lot of law and controlling systems to stop when it goes unethical or when it goes out of control to the extent of pushing a person to an unbearable extent. Actually, the people can bring in a lot of control systems to control these kind of behaviors in the public, but they are not doing it only because it makes the person in power or person with a lot of money to be accountable for their actions or their services or their representation to the society. So this is the other side of this cancel culture. One biggest disadvantage of the cancel culture is the mob mentality. Many people just join the mob without understanding what exactly or actually is happening. So that is a very, very, that is a very, very negative thing to happen in a public, in a proper developed country. Okay, so when mob takes the rule and regulations into their hands, then that is not the sign of a developed country or a country which is following a proper or ethical legal system. So this mob mentality cannot be encouraged at any point of time by anybody at all, because then the systems of the country doesn't hold any validity, correct? If everybody is going to take decisions and take actions as per their own will and collect a mob and execute the justice, then what is the point of having a proper legal system and having a proper constitution and proper elected people in those places? If everybody is going to execute their own intentions and their own justice as per the people they deem are evil to the society or are the worst people available in the society. And if we go and take and start implementing justice and execute a mob mentality, then the system and the backbone of the country itself gets destroyed. So that is one of the reasons why nobody educated or people who knows the systems, how systems works, doesn't want to encourage the mob mentality among the public. Okay, so this is another point. Now, personal experiences with regard to cancel culture is we come across, okay, when we are handling business or when we are part of an agency or part of a corporate setup, we come across a lot of competitions who is trying to compete. In the corporate world, everything is a competition. Business is a competition. Achieving the maximum market control, expansions, these are all part of competition. So competitors come up with different strategies to compete over the competition. It can be poaching the good talent from a successful organization or making expansion plans wherein they can include the competitors people, or where they can get the competitors people, or they can poach into the markets held by the competition. And the last or the worst of the games the competitors can play is smear campaigns. We call it smear campaigns in the corporate world, where they just start cooking up some stories about the competition company, organization, or the heads or the people who are working there. They start building up stories and spreading it across the market. And that is a form of smear campaigning run by certain organizations to get an edge over their competition. So this is existing in the real world, and we have to acknowledge that these things are existing. This just shows the culture of the organization and how they are planning to win over their competition. Is this ethical? No. Is this professional? No. But are people doing it? Yes. So this is a reality which is happening all over the world, in every markets available around the world, and we have to accept and we have to decide if we want to be part of the smear campaigning, we want to encourage these kind of behaviors or not. That all individual choices and decisions. So you make your own decision as to where you want to stand in these kind of scenarios, because you are an individual and every word and every decision you make have a value as a citizen of any country. Every individual matters. Every human being matters. So you make a wise decision as to where you want to stand in evaluating any kind of public situations. As always, thank you for spending your time here. I appreciate you being here. Until we meet next time. Bye-bye.